So you have that one friend who's all, oh my gosh, you haven't listened to Hamilton? Why, you need to listen to it right now, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Yeah, that guy. Don't worry, I got you covered. Here is the story of Hamilton for people that don't want to listen to Hamilton. So we start off with Hamilton's childhood, which wasn't exactly idyllic. Picture a Caribbean island, but with less palm trees and more death, as his dad left his family when he was young, and his mother died. He moves in as a kid with his cousin, who, committed suicide. Told you, not exactly idyllic. Oh, there was also a horrific hurricane that destroyed everything. So he's all, man, life is hard. And starts working and clerking for his late mother's landlord, trading sugar cane and rum and all the things he can't afford. Sorry, got carried away there. Anyways, he begins writing on the side, and some of his friends were all like, dang, this kid's talented. He needs to do something with his life, not just shopkeep on this tiny island. So they literally take up a collection on the island to get him to America. And look at that, they do. So that's the first song. Anyway, okay, so now we're in a musky bar, and Hamilton's walking around, and he runs into Aaron Burr. And Alex is all like, hey, you're that guy who graduated from college super quick, right? What's your secret? And Burr's all like, yo, I like this kid. He's got spunk. And tells him that it's because he's got connections, namely his father, who died. And Alex is all, hey man, I know that feel. My parents are dead too. Man, I wish we could prove that orphans are cool somehow. Like, with a war, and killing. Burr's all like, dude, calm down. Talk less. Smile more. Ham also makes him friends with John Laurens, Hercules Mulligan, and everyone's favorite, Marie-Joseph Paul-Yves Roch Gilbert de Moitre, Marquis de Lafayette, according to Wikipedia. Just call him Lafayette. Anyways, the four of them become fast friends, while Aaron kinda stays outside the friends group. He's not really a party animal. And all this is beginning to sound boring, right? Would you say this story needs some romance? Well, begin the winter's ball, and the Schuyler sisters are the envy of all. Yup. Sorry, got carried away again. But yeah, Schuyler's, well, let's just say, not strapped for cash. So his daughters are, well, I guess the goal for all the guys there. Anyway, Hamilton attracts the attention of Angelica Schuyler, who's the oldest and the wittiest and the gossip in New York City is insidious. Anyway, she goes to make a move on him, but notices her sister Elizabeth going all hard eyes emoji over him, and decides to take one for the team. And Eliza and Ham, of course, fall head over heels for each other. And a few weeks later, there's the sound of wedding bells. Although Angelica's still like, I'll never be satisfied, and still has a major thing for him. Anyway, during all of this drama, there's kind of a war going on. Remember this guy? Well, probably not, as I can't draw worth beans. But this is George Washington. He's freaking out because he's trying to fight a war, and his soldiers are all like, oh, this sucks, I'm out. So Burr's all like, hey man, can I help? And Washington's all like, sure, man. Oh, hey, Hamilton, buddy, yeah, now's a perfect time. Help me. And makes Hammy his right-hand man, which kind of ticks Burrs off. But being his right-hand man, aka really his secretary, is pretty boring, let's be honest. Ham's all like, holy crap, I need to be put in command or I'll go insane! And Washington's all like, hey, Hamilton, yeah? You know that guy, Charles Lee? Yeah. Yeah, well, he's a general now. Are you sure there's no one you'd rather promote? Someone you know and trust? No? So, Lee turns out to be a massive flop, and it's all, retreat, Washington doesn't know what the heck he's doing, screw him, the best thing he can do for the revolution is turn and go back to planting tobacco in Mount Vernon. Sorry. Now Alex is pissed. George is all like, let it go, dude, I don't care. But Alex is mad. Unfortunately, he can't do anything, but his bestie John Laurens is all like, dude, I gotcha, and challenges Lee to a duel. Talk about squad goals, am I right? I'm so sorry. Anyway, Burr tries to calm Alex down, but he is way too angry to calm down now. Now, thankfully, the duel goes in his favor, and John gets Lee in the side. And Washington hears the commotion, however, is all like, dude, what the heck? Hamilton, what did you do? Go home now! So Hamilton goes home now. And Eliza's all like, surprise, you're gonna be a dad, and that's why George wouldn't make you a general. And Hamilton is all like, what? Anyway, everyone's favorite fighting Frenchman becomes general, and he's doing the job pretty well, but he can't do it alone. It's all like, George, buddy. And Washington's all like, yeah, I know. And calls Ham back. It makes him a general, finally, after a rousing history has its eyes on you lesson. And remember Hercules Mulligan? Yeah, he's now a spy and gets, like, let's be honest, the best little rap segment in the whole play. Anyways, the world turns upside down and they win the war in Yorktown. Yay! America's a thing now! So after the war, both Ham and Burr go to work as lawyers next door to each other. Ham is, surprise, surprise, constantly going 100 miles an hour, which ticks Burr's off to no end, who's all like, dude, chill. And Ham's all like, I got no time! He makes a pact to write 25 Federalist Papers, all divided equally between two other friends, and kind of gets carried away and writes 51 in 6 months. Anyway, enter Thomas Jefferson. Remember him? Yeah, well, he returns from France and is all like, oh sweet, the whole war thing worked. Good, because I kind of convinced France to do it too. Now, as time goes on, it becomes apparent that Jefferson and Hamilton have a differing views on most topics. Like, Ham's all like, guys, we need a national bank. And Jeff's all like, whoa, dude, too much government. Nuh-uh, uh-huh, nuh-uh, uh-huh, nuh-uh, uh-huh. But Hamilton's really climbing the ranks, but he's just going non-stop. Everyone begins worrying about him, telling him to take a break, but he ignores them. Eventually, even his wife is all like, look, dude, I'm taking the family upstate on vacation, and you're coming with it, you like it or not. And Ham's all, lol, nope, I got work to do, enjoy your vacation. Enter Mariah Reynolds. She goes, well, my husband's kind of a major jerk, but this guy's kind of hot. And Hammy feels the same way, and with his family gone, they have an affair. No! This goes on for some time, but the problem with secrets is that they're pretty hard to keep. Mr. Reynolds caught wind of the situation, but decides instead of blabbing about the situation, he can make some money out of this. He basically tells Alex, yo, buddy, I know what, or should I say who, you've been doing, and don't worry, I'll keep my lips sealed if you pay up consistently. Obviously, Hammy's upset by this, but hey, what is he gonna do? So now he can keep seeing Mariah, her husband's happy, and his family has no idea. Now that that incident's all settled, Jefferson, Madison, and Hamilton sit down over dinner and basically come up with a compromise, with Hammy getting control of the federal bank in exchange for putting the capital in Virginia. Hammy thanks Burr for his advice about, like, talk less and smile more. And Burr's all like, wait, you act like me and get to do this fancy schmancy meeting stuff. I act like me all the time and I don't get to do anything fun. So anyway, here's a problem. France, remember them? The guys that, won us the war? Yeah, well, they're heading into a war with England, or all like, hey guys, you know that debt you owe us? Yeah, we could really use that about now. And Jeffy's all like, yeah, obviously we owe them, guys. And Hammond's all like, we are not ready to fight in another war that we won't even benefit from. Now George is all buddies with Alex and is all like, yeah, screw France. This is the last straw for old Thomas. He gathers James Madison and his buddy Burr, and they desperately try to find something, anything they can use to discredit him and mock him. When lo and behold, guess what they stumble across? Seems some money has been mysteriously moving to an unknown person. Bingo, they got him. At the same time, George is all like, hey guys, it's been fun, but I want to go home. I'm tired of all this president crap. Georgie, out! And Hammond's all like, oh crap, now John Adams the prez. I freaking hate that guy. And Adams is all like, yo, the feeling is mutual. So, I'm in power, so kiss your job goodbye. And just when things couldn't get any worse, they do. Remember that mysterious money Jeff, Burr, and Mads found? Well, they decide to let Ham know what they found. And Ham is all like, lol, I'm not stealing from you guys. And they're like, so what are you doing? And he's all, oh crap, I gotta tell him now or else they'll say I'm embezzling government money. So he comes clean then and there. Now obviously this is pretty juicy gossip, and while they swear not to share it, come on. I mean, these guys just itching to do anything to mock in the public. How long you wanna bet their bro honor will last? So Ham has to decide what to do. Should he trust them or come out publicly with his big secret? This is where Ham makes the wrong choice. The Reynolds pamphlet was a bomb. No one saw this coming, and everyone Ham knew in person read it, and his world immediately came crashing down around him. Goodbye any chance of taking public office again, or heck, even friggin' showing his face in public. Angelica's all like, congratulations, you've invented a new kind of stupid. His wife is understandably outraged and is all, yeah, I hope you burn. His son Philip, however, still loves his pops, and when one of his friends mocks Alex, Philip's all like, yo, not cool, bro, and challenges him to a duel then and there. Alex is all like, hold up, you did what? But I mean, at that point, it's too late, so Ham's all like, look, you are not gonna kill this guy, okay? That's not happening. When they count to 10, point up in the sky, and he'll do the same thing. Surprise, that doesn't happen. His son is killed. Eliza's all like, Ham, did you know what was happening? And Ham's all like, yeah, I may have been the one who told him not to shoot. And Eliza's all like, you idiot! So now his life's a complete mess, and he decides, screw it all, we're moving out of the city, we're getting the crap out of public. So they do. So now it's 1800. While they're trying to figure out life upstate, down in the city, Jefferson is running for president, and oh, look at that, he's running against Burr. Now at this point, Burr's all, okay, I guess I gotta actually, take some initiative and actually try to win this thing. And Jefferson's all like, gosh, I gotta calm down. So they basically try and become each other. So anyway, it's super close, basically a 50-50 split. And Ham's like, well, I've always despised Jeff, but at least I know where he stands on stuff. Burr's pretty wishy-washy, and who knows how he'll be like in office. I'm with Jeff on this one. And Jeff's all like, goody, look at that, I win. Oh, and hey Burr, surprise, now you're jobless. Burr's all, excuse me? And starts thinking about how all through his life, it's been Ham that's constantly gotten in the way of Burr's goals. And the more he thinks about this, the angrier he gets. And screw this, you're going down! And challenges him to a duel, since obviously the world is wide enough for only one of us. Well, long story short, the duel date arrives, and Burr's all, I am not gonna lose this. This man will not make an orphan of my daughter! He didn't need to worry, however, because Hamilton didn't actually think he was gonna shoot. And he tries his patented 0 for 1 aim to the sky technique, which, surprise, surprise, doesn't work. Now, here's where the story ends, right? Not quite. There's still a Hamilton alive, remember? Eliza. Now it's Eliza's turn in the spotlight, and she was a friggin' boss. She interviews all the soldiers that fought with Hamilton. She tells their story. She raises funds for the Washington Monument. She tells his story. She saves all of Hamilton's letters and writings, literally tens of thousands of pages. And she tells his story. And eventually, her time comes. And hundreds of years later, I have told you their story. If there is one thing we have learned today, it's that I cannot draw.